Hi, everybody. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here coming to you from outside. Welcome to Being Becca Live. We have an unexpected pretty day here in Colorado. It's a little chilly now. It's getting chilly. Anytime the sun goes away, it gets kind of cold. But the sun comes out and then you gotta take your jacket off and the whole thing. So I decided I would take you guys outside today because it's been a while since we've been out. The dogs are there we go. The dogs are wandering around the porch with me because I don't want them out in the yard where I can't see. But they're out here on the porch. You want to back up, Mama? Good girl. Okay, thank you. And that's what I'm kind of doing today. I figured I'd do a live from outside because it's been a hot bit. How come every time, I just need to show this to you, every time I sit down with you guys, okay, maybe I just don't look at it the rest of the time and I see it because I'm doing a video, but what is with the uneven stringies here, yo? All right, anyway, back to it. Hey, Bernard. So I am excited to sort of be forcing myself to sit outside, right? Days are getting longer. The depression wants to go away. I want it to go away. So why not spend some time outside with you guys again? Because it's a nice one. And the dogs love it too. So that's why I'm out here. It's really important to me that I continue to kind of do the things that I practice what I preach, I guess, and do the things that I always tell you guys is good for you, is good for me too. So I'm out here with the sunshine. I'm out here kind of sharing joy with my dogs, and hopefully it'll share with you guys. As the sun disappears, though, it gets freezing. So I do have my little blanket on, and I have my hat on just to keep my heads warm. I actually have gloves, which I might need to use, but we'll see. Any case, I am feeling really good with the start of 2021. I'm feeling like everything is in order the way that I want it to be. Hey, Ross. Hi, Bill. Hey, CV. Thank you guys for coming, for being here. Yeah, so this morning, if you are on my mailing list and you have signed up for the newsletter, thank you, CV, you got an email this morning with your January installment of Monthly Musings, you guys. I hope that you liked this issue. It was like a rough start a little bit because we've been off for a hot bit here and everything, and so I was trying to get back into gear a little bit with it. And so I like the topic, though. I like it as an opener, so that's what we're going to talk about today. I think I want to explore the topic here on the live stream a little bit. So this month's topic is mentors and role models. And I chose that for a reason. I think the last time we talked about that, I was actually sitting right here. We were talking about role models and celebrities as role models and what it means to have a role model as an autistic person, because it's sort of different. Rather than just sort of inspire our style or inspire our musical taste or our fashion, we really kind of use, thanks, Fiona, Great Dane. She just knocked the whole camera. Anyways, so yeah, so what was I just saying? You made me forget what I was saying. Right, and we talked about celebrities as role models. We talked about that kind of stuff, and that's fine. But I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about it because, of course, in researching for the newsletter, I came across some really interesting information. Fiona, please stop banging into the camera. Thank you. She's like a Mack truck backing up all the time. So in terms of I sort of like decoded it, I guess, a little in putting the newsletters together. So if you didn't get the newsletter, I'm sorry. Sign up for February. When you get the February one, you'll have the archive and you can go back to January. If you really want to get a hold of the January one, sign up for the Monthly Musings and shoot me an email, and I'll send you the back issue. No props, right? But anyway, we're going to talk about it now because I had to sort of decode it, because when I thought about it in my brain, like all by myself without any research, I was like, geez, well, how do you define role model versus mentor versus even like a coach, like what I do, right? How do I differentiate them and what makes the difference, right? And so I really spent some time thinking about that. And here's what I came up with. So to me, a role model is someone that's sort of afar, someone from that you don't have contact with. It's sort of based on the amount of contact is how I see it. So if you think about it like how we talk about our bubble, right? Our bubble's in the middle and then you have outer circles around it, right? So the outermost circle to me is role models, right? They're the furthest away from us. We look at them from afar, like celebrities, historical figures, famous people for other reasons, right? Whatever it may be. And we put them sort of up on a pedestal and we think we would like to our success, we would like to resemble their success, right? We kind of look at it like that. And we may pull from their fashion, and we might pull from their politics. We might pull from their musical taste, whatever it is that appeals to us about them, right? But again, they're all the way out here. They're in that outermost circle, right? We don't really ever have contact with them. They're sort of just, a picture in our mind of how we want to picture ourselves, right? And the next level down I think about is mentors. Mentors are people that you usually get in touch with about a specific topic. So you usually want to be mentored in something, right? You're looking for mentorship in employment, or mentorship in the music industry, or mentorship in, I don't know, electrical industry, whatever it is that you do, right? It's usually, or you want to do or want to learn, right? And master those skills better. You seek a mentor in that arena. But what usually our mentor has a nice little mix of some of that role model stuff in there, right? We often find that we like the way our mentors respond to their emails, or we like the way they handle answering questions, or we may like the way that they choose to dress for, meetings or something like that, right? But at the same time, they're also people that have contact with us, people we can actually ask questions of, right? So you can say, where did you get that suit? Yo, I really like it, right? You can say, I want to learn to do what you do. Do you have time to teach me? Do you have time to read something I've written? Do you have time to do these things? And sometimes a mentor relationship is a paid relationship. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's someone who just sort of out of the goodness of their heart, or maybe you share a company or share an organization, and for some reason they decide to donate their time to you, right? It doesn't have to be a paid relationship. But they also aren't available to you all the time, right? Mentors are sort of somewhere in between a role model and what I'm going to get to now, which is a coach, right? So you've got your role models on the outside, right? We don't have really very much contact with them. Then sort of the next inner circle is mentors, right? People we have some contact with that we also sort of put up on a pedestal, usually not for everything, but for something specific, right? And then in the middle, you have coaches, and coaches are people that you almost definitely have a paid relationship with, right? And that is because they are available to you all the time, right? So you might be working on something with your mentor, or that a role model has inspired you to do, but you might need regular help to get it done, or regular cheerleading, or regular inspiration to get it done, right? And in that case, if you need that regular engagement, you're really looking for a coach, right? Someone who is accessible to you on a regular basis, someone who is available to you when you need, right? Rather than at their convenience. So that was sort of how I decoded the whole thing. So I really think it's important for us as autistic people to understand those three roles of people, and to understand that we get to choose those people for ourselves, regardless of what others think, but also that a lack of any of those categories, right, could be trouble for us, right? Sometimes we are working on maybe a bigger project like employment with a mentor, and then we're stuck on putting together a resume, right? And our mentor doesn't have time to put together a resume with us. So we reach out to a coach that can help us on a more intimate basis, right? And that's what I do, right? And so I've been thinking about what it means to be all of those things, and what it means to sort of also have those roles in your life, right? Because I noticed that if you talk or ask about people's role models, successful people have role models. They also have mentors. They sometimes have coaches, right? Or a really good friend that they work on very closely with, something like a business partner, right? So, oh, I have something in my eye right now. It's so annoying. Okay. So, what was I thinking about? Oh yeah, so and all those different roles. And I think as autistic people, we need them all. But I think it's really important for us to choose them carefully. So In other words, I think for a really long time, autistic adults um, have trouble seeking mentors and have trouble with role models. And I think that's because as children, we didn't have role models, right? We didn't have out and about autistic adults that we could say, I want to be an autistic adult like that. Right? That's what I want to look like as a grown up. And we didn't have autistics in the workplace that were open about it. Gussie is here. And that we couldn't go to them as mentors and say, can you teach me how to be successful in employment as an autistic adult, right? We didn't have that luxury. So we're just beginning to create those areas for ourselves, right? But they serve very different purposes. And if you don't understand that they are three very distinct categories and that they serve three different roles in your life, right? You're missing out on some piece of it, right? They are clues to who you are and what your goals are and what you want to be. And when you're picking your role models and you're picking your mentors and even your coaches, you want to make sure that those people, right, are their general beliefs and their way of teaching, way of helping you, is in alignment with the things that you've already chosen as goals, with your priorities and your values, right? Those are the things we use to decide who gets in and who gets out, right? Who do we want to look up to? Hey, Nancy. So it's sort of like that situation to me. And so, are we doing that well as autistics? No, I think not. I think we are taught to constantly be looking for that neuromajority as a role model. And that doesn't work, right? It works better for me to look at somebody like Sir Anthony Hopkins, right? Or, I don't know, any of the other really more famous autistics, right? And so to look at them and say, they are fully functional, fully engaged, happy as far as we know it, right? And are openly autistic and are successful in their chosen field, right? That's somebody who I want to learn from, right? And in my little tips inside the newsletter, I talk to you about that, about success leaving clues and happiness leaving little clues, right? And that you need to be a detective. And that's the job of these people in your life. That's your reason for having them there, is to engage with them, to pick them apart, right? And say, how are you doing this? What is it about this person that I like, that I want to emulate? What is it that I don't? And this too is a brand new struggle for me. I just figured out why I've always struggled with role models and mentors, and why that was always the case. Well, first of all, I wasn't looking for autistic people, so that's part of it. But the other part of it is that the truth is I didn't know who I wanted to be or who I was. I didn't understand my identity. I didn't know my values and priorities. I wasn't in alignment with anything, right? I was just getting by. I was just surviving. So whomever people told me my role models should be, those are the people that took that spot. But that's not fair. That's not a real and true representation for me. That's unhelpful. So what I ended up doing was collecting a bunch of data on who I didn't want to be, who I didn't want to emulate, whose life I didn't want, whose choices I didn't want to make, right? So I knew a lot about what I didn't want, but I knew very little about what I actually wanted. And because I didn't know those things, because I hadn't already worked out my values and my goals and the things I wanted to be in alignment with, finding the people to be in alignment with was incredibly difficult, if not impossible. Along the way, I made some really good guesses. Some I've hung on to, like Oprah. I happen to think her career is amazing. And she is someone I put in the role model category, right? There are a few people in autism advocacy world and in nonprofit autism world that I think of as mentors. That live in that space in my life. Some are autism advocate mentors. Others are simply mentors within the world of nonprofit and employment and career, right? And how to network and how to know people and when to send emails and all of those things, right? And so I've had mentors too, but was I choosing correctly, right? I think as I got my diagnosis and I was making those choices for mentors, I was on the right track and I did pretty well with my guesses. But prior to that, choosing mentors was an impossibility, right? Finding someone to match me without that piece of my puzzle, without without that little missing information, I couldn't do that. I couldn't make an informed decision. And so that's where I'm at now. I'm sort of like, hey, hold on. If I want to be, and if you guys are paying attention, my F words for this year are fun and flavor. If I want to add fun and flavor in my life, I need to find fun and flavorful role models and mentors. Who are the people in my life who are doing fun right, who have career and fun balanced, who have personal and career balance? Those people who are having joy, who are they, right? And again, I think of Oprah, who busted her bum and now has the entire world at her fingertips, but not for lack of work, right? So what was the work that she did? How did she get there? That's the stuff I need to be looking for, right? That's the information that I want, right, out of her as a role model. So I'm looking too for a role model for fun, right? Maybe somebody silly. I don't know, but I have to get out there. If I want to stretch and grow and evolve and add all this new stuff to my life, I have to do some work. So I do. I got to do that. And the same goes to you guys for choosing a coach, right? The way your coach speaks to you and shares information with you, the way they approach their teaching, the way that they are, no worries, Michelle, hi, and the way that they kind of treat their clients, all of those things, right, are the way that you need to go about choosing your coach, right? You need to have some kind of bond, right? I talk a lot about, it's garbage day. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Anyway, we never do a live stream outside where I don't have one truck. It's just the way that it is. So there we go. That was our one truck. We did our deal. Now it can go away so I can finish talking. Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, I really think about that when I think about choosing coaches. Do you want an autistic coach, right? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're looking for that social employment, those little clues for how to do that stuff, and you need a neurotypical person to be your coach. For employment or your mentor in the employment world. We don't know. I mean, we don't want to be in particular, but we want to come to the table with autism at the forefront, right? Here's what I'm bringing to the table along with my skills and talents. I'm also coming to the table as an autistic person, right? And so I think it's really important for us to really engage in that way and to really take control of the stuff we can take control of. And that means whose advice we're taking, right? Where we're getting it from. Because if you are taking advice from, I don't know, Joe Biden, let's choose him because he's the only person I can think of right now whose advice I would never take, right? If you want to take advice from Joe Biden, that is your choice. It is equally your choice to not to take advice from Joe Biden, right? And you are in control of that. So when you get there, right, and you're thinking about this space, because as you begin the journey of 2021, and it is a brand new slate in front of you, right, that you have to live, who are the people that you want to be including in that space, right? Including in that role model, mentor, coach space. What are the words you want to be hearing? What is the passion behind it need to be? Where does that come from, right? And so just knowing whether you're ready for an autistic coach or a neurotypical coach, or maybe you need an autistic coach and a neurotypical mentor, right? And maybe your role model, you have no idea because they're not out about anything. So you don't know if they're neurotypical or autistic, right? And that's an interesting setup to have as an autistic person. But the role that autism plays in there has to be addressed, right? It's in there, right? And the reason for choosing a coach that's autistic versus a mentor that's neurotypical versus a role model where it doesn't matter, right? It's a mix and match game for you, right? To make sure that you don't also make a black and white choice, which would be to maybe choose all autistic or all neurotypical, or not knowing either way, right? That's up to you. But again, it's up to you. So if you don't make the choice and you don't make these decisions and you don't seek out these people to include in your life, those spaces will be taken by people that you are not choosing, by people who just fill the slot, or maybe because people put them there for you, right? And so that's not a great way to attain goals that don't match that. That's a big mistake. So what you need to do is empty those seats, pick the people you put in them, right? And remember that it's important, right, to have all of this stuff in your life if you want to create a thriving life. I can't think of a single person who I know of who has a thriving life in any category that doesn't have a mentor or a coach or I don't know, they got to have at least 3 or 4 role models, right? Somebody in their childhood inspired them to go somewhere, to the next place, to the next place, right? So we go through role models and mentors and coaches as we transition ourselves, as we evolve into human beings, right? Our needs change, right? So as you're going through that, know that this person may not be your coach forever. That person may not be your role model forever. Learn to let go, right? When you're ready to move on, because you can't move on carrying everything, right, from the last time around. You just want to carry the stuff that's most important, and the people that didn't do their job are not important for the next time around, right? You want to clear those seats out, put really good people in them, right? And know that it's an ever-changing thing, that if it's not working, if someone's not fitting, it's time to move them out, because you're growing and evolving, and that's just to keep them there is a matter of habit, right? Because we can do all of those habit things. I'm going to catch up and chat a little bit because you guys look like you are having a fantastic conversation. Oh, I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying this topic. That's so great. I was worried you'd be annoyed that I sent it out in the newsletter and then I wanted to talk about it again here, but I'm glad. So let's see, what else do you say? I'm glad you like that. Yes, a lot of us have had enough of neurotypical mentors and coaches. And a lot of the reason for that is that either we didn't know we were autistic, or everyone was thinking the only people that are valuable as coaches and mentors are neurotypicals. Not your fault, Bernard. Time to go out there and look, right? And ask. And that's what we're seeking. We're going to seek out the stuff that's in alignment with the life we want to live and the people we want to be, right? And that's what has to happen. Yes, a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of complaining about neurotypicals over here, but they do all of these things, and it's time for them to own up to it, right? They don't speak plainly. They don't say what they mean the way we do, right? And then they give us a hard time when we don't understand, when we're confused by the gray language, which is crazy, right? And then, they definitely do. And then what else? Oh, hi, Helen. I'm so glad you joined us. Yay. And so I'm glad that you're all here and enjoying this topic. It looks like everybody's really feeling like we've been kind of forced into that neurotypical mold, and that neurotypical coaches and mentors are coaching and mentoring for a neurotypical brain and not an autistic brain. So I think we're onto something here. I also think you guys have some work to do. And so do I, right? I am in search of my joy-making, fun-making mentors and role models this year. And I've been a very serious person, and I'm not inside. That's the thing. I've been very serious for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, but that's not who I am inside. Like, I've had to be so serious for the last couple of years, and I want my fun back. I want my flavor back. Right? Like I have any. Anyway, but I miss that, right? And so I'm going to go seeking the people that I think have got fun right? And somebody I'm thinking of exploring, for example, is somebody like Chris Packham. He is somebody who is autistic, who is openly autistic, and he shares openly on the internet and on YouTube and all over the place the things that bring him joy and what he does for joy. And he shares his joy all over the place. And he doesn't care if it's not what joy is to other people, right? A lot of it is replanting trees, right? And that's fun for him. And like, I don't know. I have a lot of work to do on the role model front in terms of fun and flavor. It's been a bit. And I'm a little detached from that part of myself, and I want to get reattached to that. So that's my garbage and baggage and words and all of the goals and alignment for this year for me. And I want you guys to go do that today. Spend some time in your little brain and maybe cruising on the internet for inspiration. But think about who you would slot into those roles. Who would you give those responsibilities to, right? Who would you make a role model? Who's out there, somebody that a lot of people know that you think has just got it right? Right? Who's that person? Who's the person in your life who you can have contact with? Maybe it's not on a daily basis, maybe it's weekly or monthly, right? That is living a life that you want to live, right? And some part of it that you want to emulate, that you can pick their brain and learn from their mistakes and all of that great stuff that comes from a mentor, right? And then spend some time thinking about whether you want or need a coach. Do you need that more regular help, more than monthly, right? Do you need that? And if you do, what kind of coach are you looking for? Do you want a life coach? Do you want a career coach? Do you want a time management coach? What are you looking for, right? So I really think um, that's kind of what we're at with it, you guys. So I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm looking forward to, hi Fifi. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about role models, mentors, and coaches, and maybe what you think of the newsletter, and if it was interesting. I don't know, but I hope it gets you started on something. I hope it gets you moving. Um, I love that joy is one of your daily intentions, Bernard. I love it. It is now one of mine. You didn't used to be. Um, so yeah, I think we all have a little bit of work to do today. I hope we're all thinking about who we've put in that position in the past, in those positions in the past, and who we'd like in them now. Make sure it makes sense to you. That's all I'm saying. All right, you guys, go out there, think about all this stuff. And I don't know, hit me up. Hit me up if you're interested. Oh, and the other thing, you guys, today in today's newsletter came out, the course is going to be starting. I have a date for Unit 1. Yay. I am going to be starting Unit 1 on February 17th. So if you are interested in doing the live course with me, with a cohort, this time around, it begins mid-February. And if you're interested in being on the waiting list, please email me at info@beccalaurie.com. People on the waiting list will be guaranteed a seat in the cohort, as well as getting first dibs on scholarship seats. So if that's something you're interested in, please email me at info@beccalaurie.com or go to beccalaurie.com on my contact page, and that contact page goes directly to my email. So let me know if you want to be on the wait list for the course, and or if you're interested in a scholarship for the next cohort. Thank you, you guys. Have a really amazing one. I will see you on Sunday for Growing Gratitude. It should be a good one. We return to the food truck this Thursday, so I will have food truck stories for you, I'm sure, along with the regular gratitude stuff on Sunday. So I will see you on Sunday, and then, of course, I'll be back next Tuesday with the next installment of Being Becca Live. Have a great week, you guys. I will see you out and about on the interweb. And of course, you can always comment where you see this video, or reach out to me at info@beccalaurie.com. Please give me your thumbs up to let me know if I'm doing a good job and if you'd like me to keep doing it. Subscriptions are always welcome, as well as shares. And I love hearing from you in any which way or form. So have a good one, you guys. Create joy, share joy, be joyous, and go out there and have some fun. I will see you guys around. Bye.